Welcome, yoga friend. We're going to take a nice mini class today to decompress the low back and have some carefree, worry-free yoga for ourselves. That starts by beginning in a reclined position so we can get a little release right away. So we're going to take that mat and have a blanket handy if you want that close by. And we'll take ourselves onto our sides and then lie down on the mat and bend the knees with the feet on the floor so we can keep any pressure off of the low back to begin with. Inhale and exhale. And then I just want to say, if you want a blanket nearby and you want to have a little fold in that blanket and place that under your sacrum, just if that helps the pelvic tilt a little bit to support the low back, or you can have it without any lift or just a soft lift like so, just to give yourself that cushion. We're trying to do this cush today. So great. Let's inhale and exhale. Take one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Look up at the sky or imagine the sky through your ceiling. Feel that expansiveness and draw that into the body. As you inhale and exhale, notice the breath. Come into your yoga presence, following your breath, a gentle rhythm that is with us always. Just knowing we can influence that breath at any time. We begin to observe. The more we witness the breath throughout our practice, the more we're able to do that off the mat, noticing the quality of the breath and how we'd like to influence it. So place an intention on how you'd like to influence your breath today. Whether you'd like deeper breath, longer exhales, feel the warmth, the relaxation. And as we slip deeper into that breath awareness, we'll take an inhale, 3-part inhale. So we breathe into the belly and the ribs and the chest. And then we exhale in that 3-part rhythm as well, chest, ribs, belly. 3-part breath again. Take a few rotations here, counting that rhythm. In through the nose, out through the nose. Belly, ribs, chest. Ribs, chest, ribs, belly. And as you do so, begin to blend the breath with the body, joining them together as one, noticing whatever that quality is. Perhaps it's shifting as you exhale, noticing the shoulders dropping towards the floor. Maybe some release through the hips. And feel the gravity is on your side. And if you can, take a flurry of the mind for a moment and release it through your exhale. Completely exhale. One more 3-part breath here. Then an exhale. Let's bring the feet closer together, cozy them up together and the knees together. And just rock the knees side to side, keeping the feet on the floor. We're rocking ourselves, so part of that rocking and letting go of worry, taking that rhythm of your breath, the rhythm of the body's movement to soothe any gripping, especially in our low back. Rocking side to side. Seeing if each breath can carry a little more release with it, kind of floating along like a cloud, just any of the tension slipping away. Inhale and exhale, bring the knees to stillness and take the feet wider apart as we come into easy pose. Inhale and exhale here. 3-part breath. So we feel again a lift off the low back as we release that effort of gripping. And if we can associate this relaxation of the low back along with movement so that our low back doesn't always pick up just tension, right? We're able to regulate it, whether it's loose or tense. Let's bring the feet to the floor, hip width apart. Take those knees hip width apart. As we notice the shape of our skeleton on the mat, we notice that the back of the pelvis is on the floor, the back of the ribs, the back of the shoulders. Take the arms next to the body, place the palms down. Exhale completely. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring the navel towards the floor. So we notice that more of our back surface in the low back is going to be on the floor, and lifting the pubic bone up towards the sky. As you inhale, let's lift that navel back to a more neutral position and then down towards the floor. So follow the breath and the movement here. We can really join them together, decompressing the low back as we lift and arch and press down. You might want to build a tiny bridge pose as you lift up each time. So we can lift that pelvis up a little higher and lift the low back off of the mat, keeping that tuck in the pelvis so we get those glutes involved, those supportive glutes as they lift us up towards the sky. Pressing through the arms so we don't forget that nice support of our arms. And lifting up a few more times, a few more rotations of breath, getting right into that 3-part breath in rhythm with our building of the bridge. And feel that lengthening of the low back. That's what we're taking as our goal here. And then with the sacrum back on the mat, feel that release through your exhale. Take the hands to the thighs and take a press downward towards the heels on your thighs as we lengthen a little bit more through the breath. 3-part breath. Then let's take the arms down to the floor again as we find a nice sense of our framework, really supported beneath us into the back body. And as we inhale, we're going to fill the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And as we exhale, let's find the center of the torso and draw the energy in towards the center. We're going to firm up those abdominals and all the way up, send that energy up the spine. Find another fortifying inhale and exhale. You feel those abdominals engage, the low back presses, the low ribs press into the floor. Another drip breath, strengthening. Okay, now hold that for just a second or two as you lift the right foot off the floor and place it down again. And we'll take that same right foot and lift it up. Inhale, exhale. Find that firming up, zipping up into a wetsuit, and then lift that foot off the floor 3 times. Exhale, inhale. So what we're doing here as we hold those muscles nice and firm, we're lifting that foot off the floor. We're training those front body muscles to support instead of the low back taking any tension. Anytime the low back is taking the tension, you just let go and take that foot to the floor. We're going to switch it up to the other side. Inhale, exhale, light up the spine, light up the core, load that low ribs into the floor, and then lift that left foot off the floor, holding, and then down. Feel free to take another breath as you re-engage the support system, lifting the foot 3 times, and then placing it down. And then one more time, inhale, exhale, 3 times lift that foot off the floor. And then we're going to take a little dance with the arms, reaching them up towards the sky. Reach up as if you're reaching the fingertips to reach a cloud, and then draw the shoulders back towards the floor, drawing them away from the center. There you go. Inhale, exhale. Let's keep this framework strong as we lift the right foot and move the right arm with that foot, and 3 times. Holding firm, especially through those low abdominals. Again, observe the breath and observe the body. Exhale again 3 times. Doing our little struggling bug dance. Anytime you notice that that low back is gripping, take a little break. And when you are ready to switch to the other side, exhale, firm it up, and we'll lift that left foot off the floor 3 times with the arm this time. Follow the breath as your guiding light. As we train those abdominals to flow with the breath. Inhale, exhale, keeping that reach through the arms nice and firm. And then lift up in 3 times. There we go. Beautiful. Let's take those hands to the thighs again, pressing down towards the heels. Exhale. Lovely. Take the knees together and the feet wide apart. As we take the thumbs to the elbow creases above the head, those forearms, we're lengthening out here, finding length in the side body. So that's going to relieve some lower back tension too, as we find length in the spine, carving out some space and taking our windshield wiper legs nice and easy here. With that sense of length through the sides, we're going to take the elbows opposite direction of the knees, but just above the head. Keep those arms above the head, side to side, keeping a nice soft gaze above you. Oh, nice. Exhale. And then bring those knees together and sweep those forearms above the head. And with the arms on the floor, just going to turn our head side to side. Take your eyes in the opposite direction of your chin. We get some exploration of our neck and the eyes, communicating to the nervous system. To let go. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, let go. As we roll onto our side, and we're going to switch this up to a child's pose. You can take those shins to a blanket. And if you're uncomfortable with child's pose, just stay lying down and hug the knees towards the chest. Big toes together, knees a little wide apart. And let's reach into our child's pose, forehead on the floor. And feeling the arms reach, we're again getting that lengthening through the low back. So it's a nice opportunity to get more space there. Inhale and exhale, releasing the third eye, finding again any worries or tension. Just let them go for a moment, absorbed by our third eye energy. Release. Take the hands to the low back. So if you're on your back, you can just roll side to side, or you can take those warm palms to the low back and just give us some love with your fingers around the glutes, around the low back, feeling your own hands heal the stress. And if it's not the hands, if you're on your back, you can just roll around with the knees together, keeping those circles going so you can massage the low back yourself. Inhale, feel that breath, 3-part breath, 3-part exhale. Taking the hands to the floor, let's ground through those palms as we come on up and curl through a cat pose, finding a neutral spine in our tabletop. Beautiful. So we're going to take this tabletop and lengthen out our right leg so we get a hamstring stretch, reaching and curling that right toe and rocking forward and back so you feel that length there. Inhale, exhale, come on back to center. Really feel that fortifying effect of the breath, Lift the back of the low ribs up so we keep those abdominals engaged. Inhale, exhale, reach the left leg back, and just rock back and forth as we get length through the hamstrings. Next exhale brings the knee back in, and we take those shins to the floor. So we're going to go into a down dog for the hamstrings. If you like to just keep reaching in your tabletop, you can do that. And we're going to curl the toes under, lift the knees up so we get into the thighs to the ribs, bent knees, down dog, lengthening that spine and relaxing the neck. And we'll take that right foot down and the left foot down. Again, just keep repeating that reach and down in your tabletop. If you're comfortable there, that's fine. Or come up into down dog. Can you press through the hands a little extra through the fingertips and find that length? And as you exhale, drawing that abdominal energy towards the spine, you're getting a workout in those abdominals. Release the jaw, release the face. And then we're going to take a walk into the middle. So be careful of your blanket as you walk towards the middle of the mat with your feet. And then the hands come towards the feet. So we're going to draw ourselves into the center and a forward bend, bent knees. Move that blanket out of the way. And just hang the head. So we're giving our neck some traction here as we hands to the floor, feet to the floor, and keeping those knees behind the toes, hanging the head down, and just say yes and no with your head. Beautiful. Finding that draping down of the spine, fingertips to the floor. Let's inhale into a flat back. So we're sitting up, feeling the back body, filling that up. Beautiful. Let's take the hands to the thighs. If you want to do a chair pose to throw that into your practice today, you can do that, or just hinge here, keeping the knees bent. Nice vertical spine, finding your way on up. Using the hands on the hips to remind our pelvis to tilt slightly forward as we drop the tailbone. And find that tilt in the spine, maybe over extreme it so you can feel that engagement. And then feel the hands guide it back into a little arching and then back to a neutral. So find your neutral, help your hands find that. Slide the hands to the low back now with the elbows behind you. And you can rub up and down on the low back, just feeling that sense of self-support there. And pressing those fingertips towards the heels, keeping the feet hip-width apart, slight bend in the knees. And then holding still on the low back, we'll take the elbows back, broaden across your collarbones. Give a little gaze up to the sky. And then find your neutral spine again. Keep those elbows behind you and drop the chin towards the heart. And we've got a nice open heart here. Taking those hands, slide them onto the hip bones again, to the hips. And slide your chin over towards your right shoulder. Lengthening through the neck and then across back through center. Exhale to the other side. And then come on back to center. And taking the hands, just guiding them behind the head. You can even lift at the base of the skull of your hands, elbows out. And give a little lift to your head. When you find your vertical again, a little more decompression through the spine. And then release with those arms down at the side. So from our mountain pose, we're going to alternate here. A little strengthening through our abdominals and a reach. We're going to go from knee hug to the balancing stick. So let's take our mountain pose. Inhale, expand, exhale, draw into the center on your exhale and take the right knee towards the chest. You can hold the back of the thigh here and just balance here. It's fine. Inhale. Exhale, if you want to hug it closer to your chest, just be conscious of that support system of your breath and only noticing your own limits. As you inhale and exhale, release that foot forward on the right side, keeping that left tower nice and strong. Draw back with the toes as we lean forward and lengthen that right side, arms next to ears. And we want to pay attention to that left foot, standing strong, lifting through the left quad and the left glutes. Nice balancing stick here. If anyone wants to try it further to a horizontal, you can do that. Or join me as I inhale, lengthen, as I exhale, sweeping the arms down as we're going to transition back to the knee hug. And then open up again to our balancing stick. Making a nice clean transition, keeping that steadiness from our hips to the shoulders. You can even do this lengthening from a seated pose if you want to not get into standing on your feet today. Just lengthen and then draw the knee towards you. When you're ready, come down, find mountain pose again. Hands at the heart, Anjali Mudra. Honoring our practice, honoring this time together. Let's bring those arms next to the body. Inhale, exhale, drawing up through the right leg, stand on that, and our left knee comes up towards you. You can cradle that thigh. Find a balance here. Find your breath. Nice and steady, 3-part breath. Point the left toe out. Arms next to the ears and hinge forward. Drawing up that strong right quadricep to balance, and then back. Drawing it in towards the knee hug and back to our balance. One more time. Can your breath find more space in your spine, more length on your sides? And when you're ready, come back to mountain pose. Find your center, find your breath. Walk to the base of your mat. And as we take our dive down, we're going to sweep the arms up above the head, finding that length, reaching up side to side. Exhaling back to center, sweeping out to wingspan. Bend the knees, dive down to the floor. Take the hands to the mat. Just walk them out as we take a nice easy path back down to tabletop. And from tabletop, we'll take those hips back to the heels for a brief child's pose, or stay in tabletop if that's better for your knees. Inhale and exhale, release again. Release the worries, let go. And then when you're ready, you can slide very easily onto your side and come onto the back. Sweet. Let's take a nice twist here. So if your knees are sensitive and you'd like to keep your knees together for a twist, we can do that. Or you can take eagle legs. So you're taking an eagle twist, right leg over left. So we're crossing the legs just like we would be seated in a chair. Great. And then take our awareness to those thighs and just connect them with your exhale so they stay connected there. And we're just going to rock a little bit side to side here before we go over, keeping that left foot on the floor. Just noticing it creates a bit of length through the sides of the thigh, which is going to help the low back. Again, keep the knees together if you have some knee issues. Inhale. Exhale, press through your left foot and roll onto your left side. That soft landing for your right knee is going to come down on the floor. You just keep a soft twist in the legs. Take the right hand on top of left and find your spine length, so skull to sacrum, and pelvis 90 degrees to the floor as we lift up into a twist. Keep this soft. The weight of that left leg on the right, just adding that extra twist on that right, extra strength, lengthening on the right side. Take your left hand to the right hip on the top there, and just keep that guiding hand there for our twist. Maybe look over the right side, just a little bit. And then sweep the fingers up towards the sky, back to the left hand. Inhale, exhale. Let's pivot around our center as we come back up. And unwind for the other side. Inhale, exhale across the left leg over the right. Find that center, draw in with your exhale, squeeze those eyes together, shins together, or just stay with the knees together in parallel. As we step through the right foot and exhale onto our right side. Left hand on top of right. Inhale and exhale. Let's turn on up towards the sky with those left hand, left arm. Release the weight of that right leg to the left, just easing and guiding that left thigh, sides of the thigh to lengthen. Your exhale can bring a gaze over towards the left. And sweeping the left arm up, reaching for the clouds. Bring it back to the right hand and roll onto your back. We'll guide ourselves back to easy pose with the knees together, the feet wide apart. Take the hands to the heart, hand to the belly. So using this moment, coming back full circle, seeing where the body has shifted, or if your mind has shifted, to bring you greater peace, greater harmony with the body. And lengthen into Shavasana when you're ready. You can place a blanket under your knees or keep the knees bent. Let's release the arms next to the body, palms up. As we come back to our three-part breath, inhale and exhale. And begin to notice any worries you might have or any tension. Let's transform that tension or worry into clouds passing in the bright blue sky as they make their merry way off to another direction. Release the third eye. Take 3 more breaths. Noticing that therapeutic energy of the breath on the back muscles. Begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes, and then bend the elbows and the knees. And you can just exhale onto the right side, easing yourself up to a seated position. Taking the hands to the heart in prayer position. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice today. Namaste.